You know, I was watching a video, little cartoon, little 30-second video of that Angel product movie and Jesus talking to the lady that was caught in adultery. And I do believe it was in script, sure, about how, stoning for adultery and all that. But I don't think it was actually literal. I think it was more of a symbolic to show the depravity of a female sleeping. Because sleeping around, adultery, cheating, and all that aspects, worse. It's bad for either one, men or women. All right, but I do think it's worse when a woman does it, and I think it's even in line with scripture. And just because, there were many men in the Bible that had multiple wives. Like, was it Daniel or Dave? One that had 700 wives. All right, and yes, there was no per se. I mean, honestly, it was there was nothing in there saying that like with the woman. All right, about stoning. I don't think men were really added into the whole aspect. I think it was by proxy. It's no different than I think homosexuality, because especially back then, I had a conversation with a friend of mine about penicillin and all that. How it's about cleansing. These are the cleanse laws of cleanliness. I do think men being homosexual is worse than a woman being homosexual. Both are bad. But yes, men being gay or doing gay shit is worse than a woman doing gay shit. It's not, but the underlying aspects, in my opinion, is these is the foundation of the law that God puts down. Alright? Neither one of us should be doing those kind of shit. But it's worse when a guy does that and this. And it's worse when a woman does this than that. But neither one of us should be participating in any of this shit. And I think that's in line with everything, honestly. I mean, there's double standards in this world, but in this day and age, double standards actually benefit women. It's also a purity thing. Back in the day, paternity tests weren't a thing, and men wanted to know that you weren't sleeping around and cheating on me and getting pregnant, by other men, and I wasn't raising another man's child. So that's why it's more important for a woman to be pure and a virgin on her wedding day than a man. Not saying I'm against men not being virgins. I mean, I wish I would have saved myself. And that's definitely what I'm going to be passing down to my son. Is to don't just go sleeping with any woman you want. All right. And I think getting a true level of character in a man, especially a man of God. I mean, it's a lot more respectful for a man that could sleep with many, but chooses not to, than a man that can sleep with many and does. Unfortunately, this plays in the whole aspects of sin and history, because women, they like a man that has a high body count. You don't want to say it because it makes you feel a certain way. But you do. You like a man who knows what he's doing, that's sure himself, that has confidence. Alright? Men don't. You don't need practice on how to suck a dick or take a dick. Alright? Men don't like that. And the only kind of men that actually do like a woman that has experience is a man that just wants your body. Just wants to fuck you and move on with his life. Just wants to use you as a cum rig and move on with your life. Because we're not attached like that. That's why you have to be serenaded. That's why you have to be talked into. Coming back to my place and Netflixing and set the mood, set the lighting. Alright? We don't. Oh, you're down? Okay. Done. Men are like that, on. Because we don't have that emotional stimulant that you women need. We can just fuck. It is different. It doesn't mean that it's right for a guy to, but it is different. It's just different. It doesn't make it right. I don't approve of men sleeping around. I don't approve of men cheating. I don't approve of men, marrying a woman and sleeping with another woman, having a side chick. I mean, I don't technically approve of multiple wives. Alright? But these aspects are different. And it's the confusion of the sinful world that we live in that makes it difficult. And everybody's so emotional and sensitive to actually have a real conversation. Just sit down. Fuck your feelings. Let's sit down. Let's be rational. Let's be adults. Let's actually think about this logically. You know, about history, about the dynamics between men and women, about what's best for society, ourselves, the children. And let's really think about this. No insults, no hyper, you know, like, hey, you want to be passionate. That's completely different. You can be passionate about something. Oh, just check your emotions and stop being so petty and pathetic. But I know, I just want to write, get some of these thoughts down. I might post this in a minute, or I might not. It's not the craziest thing I've actually said online. But yes, I mean, I stand by all this. I wasn't the best teacher, and I wasn't the best example of this man in life. And I know society has a hard time seeing past, who you were, and look at the man that you are, or the woman you are now. Because I don't have a problem with women that can actually find humility. All right, you sleep around, have children from other men. If you can show humility and understanding that your children are not a mistake, and you are, in a manner of speaking, deserving of love, but that doesn't mean you're going to find it. But you have a way better chance if you actually stop listening to the culture, stop listening to the feminist bullshit, humble yourself, understand that you're not entitled to shit, especially a man that actually has his shit in order, to come in and save the day. Modern day women want to act like they're damsel in distress, but you guys are really the dragon. You're not the damsel anymore. And guys are like, fuck this. That's not even worth fucking, like, it's not even worth, going to save the princess anymore. You don't want to be a princess. You don't want to be a weak damsel. You want to be a strong, independent woman. Fuck that. Men don't like it. And your education and your income. Alright? Men don't care. We don't. Any man that tells you that that makes me, attracted to you. I like that about you. You're driven. No. No. But, I want women to be fine with being ladies. Having grace, having decor. Not being so aggressive, not being so angry. I want men to be allowed to be men, but not the men of the world. That's not the kind of men I want. But I want them to be okay to be men. To walk with purpose, to walk with, presence. To walk with integrity. To be the men that, they used to be. And that, feminist ideology is killing. And I don't blame, I do think, how to put it, blame and responsibility. I do hold women to blame for everything that has been going on over the last 100 years because of feminist bullshit. But I hold the responsibility on why it happened on men. Because there's no way you women would have had the ability to destroy so much if we didn't give it to you. You wouldn't have your right to vote. You wouldn't be working. There would be no abortions. There would be none of this bullshit going on if men didn't tell you to shut the fuck up. And it wasn't misogynistic and it wasn't controlling. It was protection. Alright? I know feminists want to brainwash people and think that men were just terrible. And yes, there were terrible men. But that wasn't not all. And I'm sorry, but you women were not oppressed back in the day. Some stupid women got a hair at their ass. Majority of women didn't want the right to vote. And then men, I don't know, for some skewed view of some alternative motive about getting women in the workforce, sounded like a great idea. Okay. That's another thing. You're not even in anything that matters. You're in HR. You're in offices. You are not in things that are keeping society functioning. Men are still doing that. Men are still 90% of the jobs that are holding up society are done by men. If you women left the workforce right now, we'd be fine. And actually, I have a theory about this. If we actually got women out of the workforce, there'd be more jobs for men, and companies could pay men more. And then, you know, the men would have a better income and all that. Unfortunately, there was a thing that Myron did say about how, and I think a few other people have said it, about how, like, you know, women used to have only their backyard, alright? Their backyard to find a suitable husband. Now, with the growth of society and technology, women have this skewed understanding of their attractive value. And they're in skewed delusional entitlement, thinking they deserve to be a princess. Most people are average. So stop shooting out of your box. Like, I'm 40 years old. I have not made the greatest decision. I rate myself as right now, the attractiveness and all that, as a 4. Alright? Back when I was younger, when I had drive, when I had money, when I did this, when I did that, I think it's a solid 7. You know, when I actually had my hair, when I had my teeth. Alright? But I might not be. I mean, shit, society might think I'm a 5. Okay? Okay? I'm not your cup of tea. That's fine. You know? Rejection is another thing men and women both need to learn to deal with. But just because a man's pushy and, you know, just tries to wear you down, you can think TV shows. You think men that are annoying, that can't just take no and just hound you and hound you and hound you, are annoying? You can take TV shows like Big Bang Theory. You can think TV shows filling up men's delusional mindset. Alright? It's the same thing with Highlander. Alright? They've spread this Casanova effect for men. If I make love to you, and I make you feel a certain way, then I'm not a bad guy. Because I wasn't mistreating you. No, I was making love. You were still sleeping with a woman that's not your wife. You were still treating a daughter of God like your own personal cum rag. You can call it love, but that's not what it was. It was lust. It was straight self-gratification, selfish lust. We can word it however we want. So that's the problem, that men are very good at wording things to make it sound good. Women use, feel, and if it feels bad, it's bad. And they use their words and their emotions just like a woodpecker. I mean, because let's face it, like, if men didn't have to hold back, if men didn't have to worry about getting arrested or dealing with courts or being seen as a certain way, and men just mollywop you, there's nothing. That's why my daughters are not fighting, all right, and they're not going to be loud mouths and all that. I don't approve of men hitting them, but there's only so long you can push somebody, and it's like, if I'm not supposed to hit you because I'm stronger, then watch your tone, bitch. Because your mouth is going to be writing checks that you can't cash. It's so fucking irritating. I'm so, oh, I can't wait till Jesus come back. I really can't. I want to grow old. I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see them get married. I want to meet my grandchildren. I want to have a long family tree. But do I really want my kids to go through this hellhole that we live in now? I mean, because it was much better when I was growing up. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was great. Now, holy shit, I did not see the world going this way. It's completely insane. And it's just bitching and bitching and bitching. Nobody's actually talking and trying to come up with solutions or meet people where they're at and get to know people and trying to help them. It's just fucking children bitching and moaning over stupid shit. Like, I'm alive today. I got my legs. I have food in my house. And I'm very grateful to taxpayers because, that's who it comes from. But you got other people out there that, I've seen some videos. Like, I have no reason to bitch. I mean, I have my own shit that I'm going through. But holy fuck. men out there that actually, have one leg and they're working. There's two people. I don't really want to say too much because it's not my story, but they're missing a lot of body parts. You got soldiers out there that are just left behind and they're just struggling after they sacrificed so much for this country. Everyone wants to bitch and moan about Trump. Bitch and moan about what he's doing and all that. But it's like, bitch, have you ever thought about, that seat? I've actually sat back and thought about what it would be like to be in that seat. I don't know the man. I don't hate the man. Do I agree with everything he's doing? No. But that's going to be one hell of a seat. And one hell of a job to do. Alright. I don't want to talk about Trump. I want to talk about what he's doing and not just bitching about what he's doing, but actually talk about what he's doing and then, okay, well, how would you fix it? How would you do better? And but Democrats and Republican Party, in my opinion, they're on the same side. The Democratic and Republican parties, not the people that make up the party, but the actual party politicians, they're on the same side. The only problem is they're the curtain. Trump is not even in charge. All right, Biden was not in charge. Obama wasn't in charge. All the presidents, none of them were actually in charge. They're a puppet. All of them are. And I don't think your vote matters because college electoral votes make up the majority of points. So yeah, you can say that your vote has some say, but if this candidate gets this city, or however the college electoral votes actually gets tallied up, I think it's mainly businesses. It's the businesses in each of these states. It's been a while since I looked this up. I gotta look it up again. But I just don't think my vote matters. But I have been doing a lot more thinking about voting more. Actually voting. Being 40 years old and finally voting. Start getting more involved in the, town meetings and stuff like that. Go meet other people that are at these meetings. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out now. You guys have a good day. God bless. I love you all.